For the past month or so, I've been playing a shit ton of Wukong. He's probably my favorite champion to play. Well, besides Gangplank of course. Wukong is a complete package. He's everything you could want in a champion. He's an assassin, bruiser, tanky boy that built right can pick a fight with almost anybody on the Rift. Before his glorious rework, Wukong was kind of an awkward assassin that dove in and if he didn't get the kill, he died. He just kind of felt like shit to play with his W that did dick all. Now, he's a champion. He actually has some skill to him now. Instead of being, Yasuo knockout bot, his passive is probably one of my favorite passives in the game. It's essentially a defensive conqueror. Every time you or your clone hits something, you gain a stack of it, up to 10. Every stack gives you health regen and armor. What the hell? If you take Conqueror with this, you gain AD, armor, and health regen. Not to mention the 15% healing with Conqueror. Early game with this and Conqueror, you can fight anybody. I dare say you can fight Darius and win. This makes Wukong amazing at longer trades as he can sustain off of it. You know what makes a champion great? Auto attack resets. You know what Wukong has? An auto attack reset that shreds armor and has extra range. Thank you, Riot Games. At max rank, this skill is amazingly good at poking enemies. You can get a cheeky kill if they're trying to run. It's like a better Jax W. Its cooldown is also reduced by 0.5 seconds every time you or your clone hits something, so build that attack speed. Wukong's W is what makes him so slippery. It leaves behind a decoy that copies his R and Q. It also gains the attack speed from his E. At max rank, this clone does 50% of Wukong's initial damage. And for some odd reason, Wukong's clone can crit. After using your clone, you go invisible for half a second. This lets you decide if you want to continue the fight or back off. Every character, if you press S, the character will stop walking and just stand in place. What's cool about Wukong, however, is that his animation looks like he just dropped his clone, so you can play a lot of mind games with your opponents. If the enemy isn't paying attention, they can probably burn a couple sums on your clone. You can also use his clone to stop any projectile that could end your life. Say, Caitlyn. For Wukong's E, he dashes. The dash hits up to 3 enemies, dealing AP damage and increasing his attack speed. Wukong's clone also gains the attack speed, but the clone doesn't have to be out to obtain it, so you can W and then E and he'll still gain the attack speed, which is nice. Since this ability does AP damage, it's pretty nice in lane to poke people down. And 40% attack speed, that's pretty nuts for a level 1 ability. This allows you to stack up Conqueror and your passive in no time, especially when your clone joins in. Slap your Q down and they're basically dead, like there's nothing they can do about it. Wukong's R is the reason people play Wukong, let's be real. Wukong essentially spins around and does his best Garen impersonation, knocking up everybody for a short duration, dealing max health damage and AD damage. What's cool about this, however, is he can do it twice, and his clone can cast it, so you're really casting it like 4 times. Nasty. Every tick of damage applies Conqueror, so you get Conqueror almost instantly when you are. This is what makes Wukong so great. He's the god of team fighting. All he has to do is E into the team fight and press R, and chances are you're going to win it. With the Conqueror, your passive healing, and Death Dance healing, you're literally not going to die. With all the disruption he causes in a team fight, he's able to get to the back line and kill the ADC while he's knocking up the whole damn team. Now that you have an idea of what he does, you're probably wondering what runes to take. Well, I got you. Now Wukong can go a couple of different ways because he's so versatile. Now personally, I like going Conqueror, with Triumph, Attack Speed, and Last Stand. This is for those really close fights you have. With all the amped up healing you get at the end, you're sure to win. After this, I like to go into the red tree and take Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter. Since Wukong gets 2 dashes, he can basically almost always have Sudden Impact up, which is pretty sweet. Now you're probably thinking Ultimate Hunter is probably better, which is nice to have, I won't argue that, but you're kind of losing out on a rune sometimes. Ravenous Hunter, you're always going to have the healing, but the cooldown, it's not a short cooldown enough as it is, you really don't need it. Although if you're fighting a tougher opponent, Bone Plating and Revitalize is always nice. Or Unflinching, really it's up to you. You can also go Time Warp Biscuits or Time Warp and Boots. But yeah, that's basically it for runes. 9 times out of 10, just take Conqueror. It's the biggest bang for your buck. Now on to what to build. Early game starting items are really up to you. If you're fighting somebody you can easily bully in lane, I recommend just going Doran's Blade and just going at them. If it's somebody that pokes heavily or just has a massive all-in like Renekton or Teemo or Garen, I recommend just going Doran's Shield and playing it safe. If you did decide to take Time Warp Tunic, just pick up a Corrupting Potion. It's really good with Wukong's early game, giving him mana so he can spam his abilities even more. Not to mention all the health regen he gets from his passive and the potion sticking. Now I see a lot of new Wukongs. They can't seem to decide, Black Cleaver or Bork? And the answer is Tiamat. Tiamat. I normally always rush this item first, as it's so good for wave clear. Activating Tiamat gives you an extra stack of Conquerors, so you can stack it even quicker. It's just a really good item on Wukong. It synergizes perfectly. You can even use the active effect while you're ulting. After Tiamat though, it depends on what you're fighting. If there's 2 or more tanks, I recommend going Black Cleaver, and then Bork. If there's no real tanky threats, I recommend just going Triforce and Death Dance. Steerax Gauge is also good as it allows you to get a beefy shield, and it increases your base attack damage, which is nice with Triforce. Spirit Visage is a godsend if they have a lot of AP. With the healing we're going with, you will be almost unkillable, I promise. Yeah, so basically, if they have 2 or more tanks, just go Black Cleaver into Bork. Yes, I know, Bork is broken and an amazing item every single time. But the problem is, if you rush it, you're not going to have the health or cooldown to back up the damage. So it doesn't matter if you can deal a shit ton if you die, like, super fast. Really, a lot of items work really well with Wukong. But as long as you have the first core 3 items and your boots of your choice, I personally normally go Merc Treads because you get all that armor from your passive, you don't really need the extra armor. Items come down to common sense at the end of the day. Don't build Spirit Visage if they're all AD, don't build Thornmail if they're all AP. Don't be scared to take trades, especially long ones, because you will heal up really quick out of them. Remember to press S if you're out of options, they might be dumb enough to fall for it. Always try to auto attack and then Q, as you're resetting your auto attack timer so it does more damage. Typically I like to max Q first, unless, you know, they're super squishy like Timor or something. Wukong's W can sadly not go over walls, so don't try it. Although his E can if you're hitting somebody, so have at it. I plan on making a lot more Wukong videos as he's probably my go-to champion right now. If you want to climb, I suggest you just pick him up. Seriously, he's such a powerhouse, I don't know why more people aren't playing him. The only champions I'd always say look out for is probably Garen and Camille. Garen is just a big bastard who hurts so much, and Camille just blows you up. Anyway, thanks for watching the guide, let me know if it helped, and let me know what you want to see next. Also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot guys, see ya.
Cannons!